We now have 3 short questions from civil society that will be presented on the screen and up there.
My name is Joanna Manganara. I'm Greek. I'm president of the International Alliance of Women. The question we have submitted is the following. What initiatives are you going to take to help with the actual refugee crisis, in particular with the needs and the rights of refugee women and children?
I am Lidija Vuckovic, Center for Human Rights Niche, Serbia. Did you ever oppose to some center of power in order to protect the rights of some vulnerable group or its representative during your previous professional history?
Hi, I'm Ilya Bañares. I'm from the Philippines, and I'm a high school student in China. My question is, do you believe that the Secretary General should be limited in his or her powers by only implementing the will of the member states of the United Nations rather than acting independently in pursuit of the common good?
Let's get the light back. And 3 easy questions.
I have to answer briefly ROK and Australia, and I think I may have something forgotten. If that's the case, my team will remind me. On the coordinating approach and how to make sure that we have these 3 pillars coordinated, that takes me back to what I have said from the beginning. We cannot be driven by the organization as is. The organization is very complex. So we need to find ways to simplify by centering in what the issue in discussion is and by bringing around the table those stakeholders that are required to really make a difference in that issue. That is a huge step to only have the ones that are required. This has a direct impact, for example, on mandate creation. One of the problems we have is that we have mandates in missions that are often a Christmas tree, as we call it. Why is so? Because everybody wants to have a share of that mandate. Well, we need to move away from that to really look into what is needed and what are the key stakeholders to address those needs. On the PB review, the peace building review, and how to implement that, well, all the reviews, the 3 reviews, will be centered to the next steps of the next Secretary General. So it will inform the way the next Secretary General, whoever the next Secretary General is. We cannot start from zero, and that will be the case. The question of refugees coming from Greece, and in fact, I know that somebody raised the question of refugees, so I apologize for not having answered that. I went to a refugee camp in Lebanon some 3 weeks ago and met with a group of women, and I asked them, if I had a miracle, the power of a miracle, what is it that you will ask for? And they all told me to go back to our villages. And I then said, your villages are destroyed. And I said, yes, but our parents and our grandparents are still there, and we want our children to grow with them, with their cousins, to go to their schools. And even if we live as poorly and as badly as we live here, it will be in the place where we belong. And then I said, what do you need to do that? And they said, well, we need the bombing to stop, we need a ceasefire. So these women who are suffering portray to me in very simple terms what probably is one of the drivers of the solution. To have people be given the opportunity to go back to their places. I don't believe people are in desperate need to move somewhere else to have their future and the future of their children. They are doing that out of desperation. So I think we need to sit and pursue what the UN is doing, trying to really find a solution to this crisis, but especially thinking again about the issues and about the people centering the issues, give the opportunity to those people to go back to their places. That is at the heart of the resolution of this problem from the people's perspective. Opposing to a center of power, I could go back to my university years and tell you many stories of how I ran away from police, or I threw balls to the police horses when they were running after me. So yes, I have learned to defy power in certain occasions, but I also have learned to live with power. And you need to find that balance between the defiance and the notion of power being an enabler for you to make an impact. And I think my too many years in professional life have given me that balance to hopefully be able to serve in the best possible way. The question from the Philippines, that question in a way shows the notion that people believe that the Secretary General is somehow the president of the world. That's not the case. The Secretary General is here to serve 193 member states that come together and decide on many issues. Sometimes they come together with all their wisdom and they decide in the best possible way. And again, 2030 is an excellent example. The Paris Agreement is another one. Sometimes it takes them very long and you wonder where the wisdom is. But that's reality. And the Secretary General can never take the place of member states, can help, can raise issues, can ask questions, can shuttle, can provide options, but in the end, is in the hands of member states. What I feel is that the more one does in bringing things to the attention of member states in the best possible way, allows for member states to find alternatives to solutions and hopefully find the solutions sooner and better. But one cannot be the president of the world. That's not the role of the Secretary General. Thank you.